What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's a wonderful evening here. We're waiting for the meteor shower to come, and Anderson and I are hanging out in the beer shed, drinking a few beers. The beer that we're going to review today is one that was sent from Wayne's Beer Delivery. And he sent this out for us to try in the beer trade, and this is River Falls Red Ale from the Thomas Creek Brewery in Greenville, South Carolina. What do you know about Greenville?
Nothing, but so far we've had some good beers from Greenville, and
I thought you would have been through there. You travel quite a bit. I thought you would have been through Carolina at some point.
oh, I'm sure I have. I'm sure I've been there too, but I just don't remember it.
Don't recall it? Fair enough. I guess it happens. It's kind of interesting. On this can it says Thomas Creek. It says established 1998, Greenville's oldest brewery. So 1998 would have been, I guess, the year I graduated college. This would have been born in kind of what I refer to as the first craft beer renaissance. I know they popped up earlier with Sierra Nevada and all those kind of guys. I know that. But the 90s was another great renaissance in the craft beer industry. And it looks like these guys popped up then. And while a lot of breweries faded away, they didn't. They're still here making good beer, apparently.
I think in '98 I was drinking whatever was in the keg at the time, and if I do recall right, that was a big push on the ice beers, like Bud
That's when they all
Ice,
popped up. Mickey's Ice. That was
Mickey's Ice, which
that was
unfortunately
a night ender. They're doing away with that.
unfortunately doing away with that.
Yeah.
But I think that was the big ice beers back then.
Yeah.
And in '98 I was definitely drinking whatever was at the keg party, or whatever cheap beer the bar sold.
I will say this. Back then, I would have predominantly been drinking Yingling Premium. That's what we would have got Yingling kegs. Yingling Premium bottles. Yingling probably, I think they were premium kegs as well. We did drink some craft beer. Honestly, most of the stuff I think I had back then would have been Euro imports or different things like that, with the occasional brewery that popped up like Sly Fox or some of the ones, but it would have been completely regional, Southeast Pennsylvania, whatever I could find and go to. I mean, you wouldn't have found a lot of it on the shelves or
No.
anything like that. So it's kind of cool these guys made it through, from 98 to now, and they're still doing well for themselves.
And '98 isn't that old. However, for some of these places, some of these regions, it is apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these places, because of prohibition and blue laws and things.
Well, I mean, even
And-
with what's
and
happened
just-
in the last year, I mean, how many breweries, restaurants, small businesses have gone out of business because of COVID?
But even with just the population demand and what people are into, breweries
Yeah,
would
yeah.
never survive there before. Now they're not
Yeah.
only surviving, they're flourishing.
Yeah, it's a great thing, man. And it's cool to be able to taste this piece of Greenville's brewing history here, right?
Absolutely.
So what do we have about this? This is a 6.2% ABV, 25 IBUs. It's listed as an Irish red ale.
So what do you think of Irish red ales?
I like them. I mean, I always talk about this. A lot of people are hopheads. I'm a malt head. I prefer maltier beers. So something like an Irish red ale is perfect for me.
So Irish red ale, the first thing I think of is always Killian's.
Killian's is...
But that was back in the '90s,
Yeah.
a very popular
Yeah, it was.
style of beer.
It was a popular beer. And look, to be fair, you didn't really see any kind of red ales other than that on the market.
And I think it was also kind of a misunderstood beer because back then, all the macros, you had Bud Light, Miller Lite, Budweiser, Coors, like, and Irish Red, it was different because it was just different, but you didn't realize that the red ale was actually a style of beer at the time. It was more like, you felt like it was a marketing gimmick.
Yeah, it's Irish, and you're trying to go with this or that. But I mean, I don't know. I'm a fan of the style. I really don't get them as much as I'd like because you really just don't.
No, you don't see a lot of
Yeah,
them.
you don't see them that much, and we talk about this, quite a bit. There are a lot of really good styles out there that they just don't make, and I think even now it's even worse because everything has to be IPA, this and that, double, triple, hazy, New England. Every IPA style you can imagine, and people just don't make these other things as much.
That's because it takes time and effort, and you have to go through quality control, and there's very little room for errors in a lot of these. That's the problem. All these over-hop beers, a lot of times I think the brewers are just hopping them because they made a mistake and trying to make it sellable.
Well, I mean, look, let's be fair. They sell, obviously, or people wouldn't make them, right?
That is true, too.
As much as I bash seltzers and all this other bullshit, someone's drinking that stuff, or they wouldn't make them. Now, what we got to do, we got to drink more red ales, and then maybe they'll make some more. Maybe we'll be okay. So let's check this bad boy out. What did I say? Scores-wise, it does pretty good. 3.53 on Untapped, 3.62. Whoa. on Beer Advocate.
Pay attention this time.
Listen, that one wasn't my fault. That was frothing immediately there, bro. 82 aggregate score overall, 82 of good. So it seems like it's a decent beer. I'm liking the head. I think I poured it about 50% head at this point.
You've had a very long streak of knobhead pours lately.
I know, dude. I'm blaming it on humidity. That's all I got going on. Can is pretty cool. You got a nice kind of scenic river view here. And I went to the website. They actually had it looked like posters of that. It was pretty cool. And then it just says, Thomas Creek Brewery, sink the status quo. That sounds like a pretty good motto, right? Let's get rid of the status quo. Color, it's got a nice color to it. If I'm going to use the SRM chart here, I'd probably say 18-ish amber brown, probably something like that.
There's some moderate carbonation in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of small bubbles just hanging out, and then you can see some bigger ones floating up to the surface.
Yeah, it's tough to kind of do these with the 12-ounce beers when you're sharing them, because you don't really get as much to to kind of see it. So you get a one finger head. Looks white. Might have a slight tannish.
Pretty frothy.
Yeah, nice frothy looking head.
Sticks around.
Let's give it a sniff.
Not much there, really. I mean,
no, just like a light sweet malt, maybe.
Yeah,
that's
that's
about it. Light maltiness.
Which is probably about all you should have for this style of beer.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be anything crazy.
No, not at all.
Let's give it a shot, dude. Cheers. No, it's an Irish red. Sláinte. Sorry.
Sláinte.
Sláinte. I like that.
Yeah, that is good. That is good.
Medium bodied. I think you get nice kind of like roasty malt flavors. You get some nice caramel taste on there. You get a little bit of hops, not a lot. But you get a little bit of hops at the end. And I think it's kind of a well-balanced beer. You do pick up all these kind of distinct dimensions. I think it works pretty nice.
This is a good beer to have to remind you about why red ales are good. Is a good style.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
again, you drink this and you definitely want to explore this style more.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably more malty than anything, but it's malt forward, nice caramel kind of taste, a little bit of hops there. It's a good beer. It's just flat out good beer. Like, we drink a lot of wild, crazy stuff, and for me, most of them are great as a one-off. So I'm happy to try one of these beers, but would I sit back on a Friday night and drink 6 of them? No, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, a lot of the beers that we do drink are phenomenal beers, and their flavors are crazy, out of this world, great beers, but to sit there and drink those kind of things all night long.
It's not a regular beer, and not even sessionable in the sense of, drinking 20 of them. Is it something that I want to drink 3 or 4 of them? No. I mean, we've been talking about this lately. I've about had it with the fruit smoothies and all this nonsense, dude. I liked them here and there, you know what I mean? But
right.
The other night we drank a couple of them in a row, and I was just like, oh man, every one of them pours out all this pulpy looking crap in it. I'm over it. They're cool as a one-off or something to go along with the other beers you had. But if you just want something to drink and sit back, watch a baseball game, drink some beers and chill, I think something like this is perfect.
Absolutely. This is also a nice evening porch beer, too.
Yeah, 6.2%. It's a little higher than normal. It doesn't taste it at all.
No,
obviously.
not at all. Not at all.
I could drink a bunch of these. River Falls Red Ale, Thomas Creek Brewery. This is a really good beer, and I would definitely have another one. You get a big thumbs up.
Absolutely, I agree. Huge thumbs up, and I want to try some more beers from this brewery.
Yeah, we got to do some more and see what else they got, man. Because if this is any indication, look, the fact they've been around since '98, they're solid, right? If
right.
They're still going, they're still doing well, and turning out this is a great introduction to this brewery.
And how'd you get this again?
I got this via a beer trade with my man Wayne from Wayne's Beer Delivery. So Wayne, thanks for sending this beer out. Greatly appreciate the opportunity to try this awesome Greenville, South Carolina brew.
Yeah, this was an excellent selection. Thank you very much.
Yeah, great choice, my friend. Hey, if you guys liked the video, please do us a favor. Hit that big thumbs up button. Hit the like button. If you like the videos, please hit subscribe so you can see some more of them. And if you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Have you had any other Thomas Creek Brewery beers? Which one should we be on the lookout for? Because this one was really good. Hey, until next time. Cheers.
Cheers.